It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. Then, of course, we've got the ventriloquist. It's Pat Podraza again. So everything was so messed up. I was doing analysis and wore myself out from analysis, leaving messages, etc. I don't hear that mind often. We said that. He said, along the way, I read him. There are those who read me at a different level and frequency. We've discussed that. And I don't hear him often. He was terribly angry because he was being lied to, and he got stuck on the analysis also. So we're still going around in circles. I've got poems here to reference. I still consider you genius IQ in your writing. I probably count for nothing, but I'm telling you it's an outstanding piece. And a few I would make comments on, not as criticism, as an understanding. All of them are fine. I preface it with the fact I've had no relationships. So I've skipped some of them. You apparently had some. Now, I have dealt with others that have meaning in terms of what I have dealt with. They're very fine. Excellent book. Thank you for sending it to me. Enjoy your time away. I don't mind if we continue. I'll try to send you something. I still am waiting on the subject of Stephen Kotler on this. That is not a waste of time to me at all. Now, it's just odd that I'm ending up in Vermont researching this when I know supposedly they were there also. Any event, horrible. I will crack a joke, and I'm going to. This is your horror story. I hate horror. I told you, I think, I hope, I thought it. Only watch horror in terms of behavior, if it is psychological or psychiatry level. And I run away from the occult like crazy, like mad. And I would technically, seances, hangings, all of that, Ku Klux Klan, all of that. I gave you a book on the child, a boy called Dog or something. Major time for you. That's your field. Very interesting for background on that subject that I have, I feel, dealt with in terms of that seance type of junk in cult mentality. That gives you some perspective also. I am very thankful for your help. You're trying to get me truth. That means everything to me. And I still feel the same way on this subject matter. That is good. And I still feel the same on this other subject matter. We'll see how life takes me through this. Still watch my programs. And we'll go to one movie, which I'm going to skip the Gucci thing. It surrounds Barbara Jet Murphy. But I want to know what happened to the husband. Belfast, that's the movie I want to catch. That's the one. I get too angry because of the reference of that Gucci, the Chilton thing. I did a paper on Hannibal. The first one, Red Dragon, I wrote off. I saw Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. And honestly, if I were Hannibal, I'd have been mad. And I'd have been mad if she didn't stop him from doing a lobotomy on the head. That was her responsibility because she worked with him. Some of the FBI I didn't trust in that movie. And boy, I'm running from that Gucci bunk. I don't want anything to do with a wealth that I gotta put names of stuff on, kinds of stuff. I'm gonna tell you, that is the whole thing. Then I was sleuthing Chilton furniture and all sorts of wacko stuff on this. They did not understand my paper. And I'm going to tell you, I don't like somebody who craves power and attention. Chilton was that in that movie. Hannibal was not that. He was trying to train. And the way I analyzed that paper, I'd probably look at it again, disregard nonverbal. was that he was trying to prevent murders due to his patients that were trying to murder good people. And there is a scene I didn't understand anyway. And that is what he was trying to do. And she was being trained. And she was a darn lesbian. But her responsibility was to make sure he didn't do a lobotomy. He's trying to train her and prevent the FBI from murdering her career. She didn't respond to him. Bloody lesbian. What else did he have to do for her? Honestly, I would have gotten loose. And I have to say I'd have never let her catch me. And if she tried to murder me, he had a reason to murder her. I went to hell on that analysis. You see, he was beheading them. They were herders in his head. So he beheaded them so they couldn't think anymore and harm any more individuals. I watched that movie over and over. Blockbusters had it in the dining room on Lon Doherty's residence. I'd stay up in the middle of the night, right in the night when everybody was asleep, re-going over the thing to try to hear the dialogue. There is much in that piece. I can remember the bottom line. Chilton was involved in building up his image and all of that. I loathe it. Hannibal is not that. He's trying to solve garden variety schizoaffectives, schizophrenics. I'd have to go over the movie again. Garden variety anyway. He tried to save a girl that had a dog stuck in a well due to a transsexual, and she was trying to help somebody in a vehicle, and he had to try to get her safe from him. He was owned by somebody, a patient, who was throwing his people to boars. Now, do you think I'd let her capture me? I would have had to have murdered him. He had a genius IQ in psychiatry. Why would I let a lesbian try to capture me when some of the FBI was no good, in my estimation? Also, I'd have stayed free and tried to help people, not like lose himself somewhere and try to keep counseling and saving the good people. That is how I saw that character. They gave him his birds, they gave him his music, they gave him his exercise, they gave him the highest level intellect. He worked with intellects. He was trying to save people. Now that Gucci thing drove me nuts in that film. She was a hardcore lesbian. Honestly, she had a responsibility to not allow him to do a lobotomy. And he was quid pro quo. She needed counseling herself. And boy, she had a right to question him. And I'm telling you, nobody wants to murder. I can't say that one allows somebody to murder. There's military in that movie also, or there wouldn't have been a flag, I felt. I did a fairly involved analysis, and over time I think I got even more involved in it. I feel Chilton was the bisexual and not Hannibal. I feel Hannibal was a straight heterosexual. And I don't like that couch routine where you get lay on some darn couch. What's the purpose in that? I didn't like that whole darn film. And that is, I have to step away from that Gucci film. I was going to go to it for analysis, but I will get too angry at the female in that film. Too angry. So the other one I'll go to, Belfast. I'll have to stay away from it. Now, 2005, I went to Hell On. And they all died. Ruth Mae Birkin, supposedly around the same time, between 2000, in the second marriage, 2010 on, and 2005, they're still stuck on what insurance my mother used to have. And honestly, they are messed up on this thing. And all of the aforementioned, I still am loyal to. That analysis, I think, put me out of grad school. But anyway, that is major. You're a psychiatrist. Thank you for giving me the truth. I'd like to stay in this with you. Horrific horror story. That is what it is. A horror story that you don't need to know about. Now, we can go into the occult analysis on this if you wish to also. We've dealt with the physical reactions. That is not due for me. That is due to this mess. Now, this is one challenge of an analysis for you and your husband. You have a beautiful time away. Thank you. And I do have to worry about my son and my daughter eventually. That thing in Texas, no way. Didn't my mother have a reason to be questioning Zashelsky and Ellie on that thing? We're in not good shape with that. Podraza's good, savvy. Thank you for verification of Austrian, Polish, Yiddish, Jew. There is a conflict on Hitler being from a small, poor section in Austria and going into Germany. So that's all messed up also. And I'm no Nazi. And I was even, it's horrific.